Hello everybody, Qualia Quartz here. I am here today to show you how to make 20 album cover banners. Over the last few years, I've been designing a lot of these, and I would like to show off 20 of my favorite today, and show you a step-by-step process on how to make them yourself. The first one we have over here is Velocity Design Comfort by Sweet Trip. You start with an orange banner, do a pink cross, do some yellow stripies. All of these have such convoluted names, I'm just gonna refer to them how I see them. This lime green cross down the center, then cover this side with a white triangle, put a blue square up in the top corner, and then put a gray diamond in the middle. You could interchangeably put a light gray diamond here, it doesn't really matter. Both convey the album pretty nicely. I think this is my favorite design overall, which is why I made it first. Up next we have Madvillainy by Madvillain, which starts out as a light gray banner, which you give a black gradient on top, surround it with this white border, and then that squiggly border as well. Add in a black triangle on the bottom, a black creeper face, and then put a red square in the top corner. The Minecraft version of this red square is massively oversized compared to the real one, but I think it conveys the album cover very well from a quick glance. Up next we have Little Dark Age by MGMT. This one I took a little bit of creative liberties with, and I just try to focus on the central figure. Take a yellow banner, give it a black triangle, give it a black squiggly border. This is where things got a little creative. So you have a yellow gradient on top, and then a black gradient on the bottom. You add in the yellow circle in the middle, and then surround it with a yellow border. These gradients are used to give it these in-between tones of color. Without it, the head would not stand out, and I think the pointillism style art on the album cover is slightly conveyed here because it is a little darker on the bottom and gets a little less detailed as you go up, making it a little less bright. Up next we have OK Computer by Radiohead. This one you start with a white banner, put a black square in the corner, and then you chop it up with a white border and white stripes, as I've emphasized up top. Then you need a light gray creeper face, a light blue stripe down the middle, and then a light blue triangle on the bottom. Up next we have White Pony by Deftones, which is one of my favorite ones just because of how silly it is. I've gone for the original light gray variant of this cover, so naturally I use the light gray banner, put a white square in this bottom corner, and then I chop it up with the detailing that you see up top, light gray border, light gray triangle up on this top right side, and then light gray squiggly border. Some of these get pretty silly, divorced to the context of the actual album cover, but I mean, that's it right there. Up next, we have Close to the Edge by Yes. Another simple one, a black banner with a lime border that we use two triangles to shave off these ends. So a black triangle on the bottom left, black triangle on the bottom right, and then we use a standard green gradient from the bottom. Up next, we have one of my favorites, Veteran by JPEGMAFIA. This one I'm really proud of. You take a white banner, put a gray gradient on the bottom, then a gray stripe on the right side, a light gray triangle on the bottom, a black creeper face, a red stripe on the left, and then a white stripe on the left. Using this red stripe creates that pink burnt film edge that the album cover has, and I think it lines up pretty well. I love creative uses of the creeper face. Up next we have The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. This one's also pretty simple. Take a yellow banner, make it black on the entire bottom side, cut it up with a yellow stripe on the right and a yellow block on the bottom, and then apply a brown gradient to the bottom. Up next we have Laughing Stock by Talk Talk. This is another one of my favorites. Possibly the best use of a globe pattern. So you take a pink banner, give it a brown cross, cut it with pink on the top half, apply a blue gradient to the top, put in a brown flower charge and then a green globe charge, and then border it with a white border. Since the birds on this cover are actually forming the shape of the continents on the globe, this is the perfect use of the globe pattern. Up next we have Turn on the Bright Lights by Interpol. Take a red banner, give it some white stripes, add a black gradient to the bottom, give it a black stripe down the center, make the entire bottom half red, give it a black border, and then cut the top part off with black. This one I've tinkered with for a while, and this is my favorite version of it. Up next, for all you big nerds out there, we got Black Country New Roads, Ants from Up There. Take a brown banner, give it a yellow diagonal, make the left half entirely yellow, and then chop it off with brown up top. Do the other yellow diagonal this way, and then it all comes together when you apply a brown squiggly border. And then finish it off with an orange border. I love this one because of the way that this step really makes everything make sense. Like before, it just looks like mishmash. Up next we have The Ooze by King Krule, one of the simpler ones but also one that is kinda perfect. There's no way to make this better than it already is. Take a blue banner, make a pink diagonal stripe, make it skinnier with a blue triangle on the top left as shown above, and then cut it off with blue on the bottom. And boom, you have the splitting image of this album cover. Up next we have Schlagenheim by Black Midi, which is surprisingly easy and only takes these 4 steps. Give a gray banner a black brick pattern, give it a white border, put a white triangle on top, and then a green square in the corner. All that complicated mishmash on this album cover simplified down to a mere Minecraft banner. Up next we have Time by Electric Light Orchestra, their best album. This one's very simple, but very expensive. You take a blue banner, give it a pink block on the bottom, sacrifice an entire enchanted golden apple to get this stupid symbol, apply it in blue, and then put in a light blue circle in the middle. Very expensive, but I know you ELO fans are dedicated, so it shouldn't be a problem for y'all. Next up, we have The Unseen by Quasimoto. This one's another one of my favorites that also probably just looks like absolutely nothing if you have no context for the album cover. Take a yellow banner and apply a green gradient twice to the bottom. That way you really push the green up top here. Give it a gray diagonal stripe, a gray triangle on this bottom right corner, cover the entire bottom half with white, and then put a pink square in the bottom left corner. Up next, for all you edgelords out there, we've got Filth by Swans. Yes, I am the edgelord. We take a white banner, give it some black stripes, give it that black squiggly border, block off the top and the bottom with black, run a black stripe down the center, and then border it with red. Shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth, shut your mouth. Okay, ignore my evil deeds. Next up we have Francis the Mute by the Mars Volta. This one I'm also incredibly proud of because you look at this album cover and you think, how am I gonna simplify this down into a Minecraft banner? Well, this is how. You take a light blue banner, give it a red creeper face, make the entire bottom half gray, make this blue triangle, block off the top with black, add a red square to this corner, and then border it off with black. This one might actually rival Velocity Design Comfort as the one I'm most proud of. Anyways, continue ignoring the murder. Now we have Spiderland by Slint. Take a white banner and add this gray triangle on this side, make the bottom half light gray, and then apply a light gray gradient to the top, and then border it off on both sides with black. There is room in this recipe to try to add the boys, but I have no idea how, and I've been trying to do that for a while. If anyone can figure that out, let me know, because I would love to update this one. Right now it looks like they just kinda left the water. Up next we have 2020 by Richard Dawson. Shout out to all of my epic Richard Dawson listeners. You guys are the cool ones, I see you there. Take a light gray banner, give it some white bricks, give it a red X, add a light gray squiggly border, and then a white normal border. And this one is also pretty picture perfect. And finally, our last one includes a freebie. We have both Run the Jewels 1 and Run the Jewels 2. You just take a red border, or black if you're going with the first one, give it this yellow diagonal stripe, make the left half the same color as the banner, give it a border of the same color of the banner, do a cyan stripe for the first album, do a light gray stripe for the second album, and then chop it up down the center with a stripe of the same color of the banner. It's pretty easy to imagine how to replicate this for the third and fourth one. It's basically this, but even simpler because there is no more gold chain. Just swap the colors to match the album cover. And that just about does it. That is the 20 album covers that I wanted to show in this video. I have made many more if you want to see more of these in the future. So let me know if you want to see more. Let me know if you want to see any special requests. I'm really big on music, so I really enjoy doing all these album cover banners. So if you have any suggestions for new ones I should try, any edits you can suggest for the ones that I've shown, just let me know because I love doing these. This has been Qualia Quartz. Thank you so much for watching. Now go out there and be a big nerd with your OK Computer shield or something. Up next we have Time by Electric Light Orchestra. Oh, whoa, that was weird.